Right? Welcome to this session of International Business. This is year 4 and Bachelor of Business Administration. Right? As usual, as what we have been doing, there'll be 40% coursework, assignments, and other exercises that I'll be giving you, and 60% exams, right? So actually you have one semester, of which there will be a mid-semester. So I think we'll divide based on the marks allocation, based on the percentage allocation. As this is international business, you have just to have a picture of what this international business is all about, right? We are starting from the course outline. So the aim of this program, or the aim of this course, is to equip you as a student with basics of international business. You need to know what are the basics of international business, and at the same time, its environment. Apart from equipping you with the basics, again, you need to develop analytical skills required to compete effectively in the environment of which maybe international business is working on. So we are looking at this international business and its environment. That's what we'll be looking at. Of course, we'll define what is the international business and what is this environment. We'll be looking at that. But this is international business. And again, having known the aim, that is want to equip you with the knowledge of international business, again, you need to know what's the course outcomes or objectives. So objectives, course outcomes. The first one is you should be able to outline key challenges being faced by international business. You have to identify those ones in the course of the program. You should be able to identify, or should be able to explain the challenges facing international business and global operations. So we're looking at this one because this is in form of global operations that we'll be looking at, and at the same time, you should be able to discuss international trade theories. So we'll be looking at these theories. If you are taking international business and finance, again, there are theories. But theories here, we'll just select only very few theories that you are going to look at, because you cannot talk about international business without saying something about the theories. So you have to know about the theories. And again, you have to explain by the end of the course. You have to explain a global business and its environment. Global business environment. You have to be able to explain what is this global business environment. And you should be able to debate how bilateral and the multilateral trade agreements affect multinational companies, MNCs. MNCs means multinational companies and the international business. So you should be able to look at those agreements, both bilateral and multilateral agreements that can affect the MNCs, multilateral, multinational corporate companies. And again, you should be able to evaluate multinational companies' international business strategies. In other words, MNC companies' business strategies. So the topics now, those are the outcomes or the aims that you have to achieve by the end of the whole course, because you have to achieve those objectives. But now, let's look at what are the topics that we cover. So the following are the topics that we are going to cover. Topics that we are going to cover as follows. The first topic that we cover, it's about, you cover something to do with the overview of global business, where in overview of global business, we'll be looking at meaning of international business and globalization. Be able to explain the meaning of international business and globalization. And you have to, again, you'll be looking at the drivers of globalization. We'll be looking at the drivers of globalization. Overview of changing global pictures, declining trade barriers, and the change in communication, information, and transportation technologies. We'll be looking at that, the overviews of changing global picture, declining trade barriers, and change in communication, information, and transportation technologies. The second, that one is number one, overview of global businesses. Number two, the second topic of coverage will be international trade theories. So the international trade theories will be looking at just a very few theories. So we'll look at Adam Smith theory of absolute advantage. We'll look at that, Adam Smith theory of absolute advantage. And we'll look at David Ricardo theory of comparative advantage. That's David Ricardo theory of comparative advantage. And again, we'll look at Heckscher-Ohlins theory, the Heckscher-Ohlins theory, and the Raymond Vernon product life cycle, and new trade theory based on economies of scale. Finally, the theory of national comparative advantage, Porter's diamond. So look at those. There are about 6 theories that you are going to look at. So we look at those 6 theories. So we will look at each and every theory one by one. Then the third topic of that we are going to cover is about global business environment, where we look at political, economical, and legal environment, political system individualism and collectivism, democratic versus totalitarians, and the second one, the legal system, the property rights, protection of intellectual property, product safety requirements, economic environment, market economies, command economies, and mixed economies. We'll be looking at that. And again, on the global business environment, we look again on interconnection of political, legal, economical systems, followed by the country, and we'll look at again another aspect of impact of differences in systems on international business. That's the second, the third topic. So that's the global business environment. The fourth one is to do with the cultural influence on business environment, where we look at the meaning of culture, look at values and norms, determinants of culture, social structure, religion, education, language, ethics, and history and geography. We'll look at those as the cultural influences on business environment. Again, we'll be looking at multinational companies and the international business concept and characteristics of MNCs, and look at tariff and non-tariff barriers, international finance system, exchange rates, exchange controls, and the trends, and look at the roles of international finance institutions such as World Bank, IMF, and the African Development, ADB, African Development Bank. And we are going to look at the evolution of GATT and the World Health Organization, WTO, and again we look at regional groups of EU, European Union, and COMESA and SADC. So look at that. Number Number 6 topic is international strategy management. International strategy management. Where in international strategy management, we look at types of strategy: international strategy, multi-domestic strategy, global strategy, transitional strategy. And again, we look at advantage and disadvantage of these strategies. Then C, market entry decision, timing of entry, scale of entry, and strategic commitments. And we have another one: entry mode, export, licensing, franchising, joint venture. We have again a choice of entry mode, comparison of greenfield and acquisition, advantage and disadvantage of strategic alliance. We have got the last one, which is number 7. The last topic will be international market, where we look at international market management, international market positioning, product policy, pricing issues, promotion issues, and distribution issues, international distribution, and the channel of distribution. Those are some of the areas that we're going to look at, the topics. Right? Now, what are the prescribed textbooks? Out of all my prescribed textbooks, I think the most important prescribed textbook is this one that I have here, which is International Business: The Challenges of Globalization by John W. Ward or Kenneth L. Ward. This one, I think this one explains better, because some of these elements that are there, they are in this one. Again, apart from that, I have soft copies. I can issue, I can give them to you anytime you want them. I can send to them. If you want them, you just call me and tell me that you need the soft copies. I can give them to you, because our library doesn't contain enough books as such. These books, I think, can be very sufficient, can be useful for your course, right? Before we start our first topic on the overview of global businesses. Do you have questions, observation, or where you want me to clarify? Questions or have object or whatsoever, or right? Is it fine? We can start. Is this time around comfortable for you? Huh? Okay. I think we'll try as much as possible to raise with the management if they can at least change some of these times. I think that would be much better. They can raise this time and then we see the way forward. Right? But if this time is convenient for you, it's fine. But especially those ones, the other group, I think because that is advantage, they are not taking it and they are not learning, because I actually told them, but they are not taking it. Now let's start with our issue on globalization. Well, let's look at the issue of globalization. Before I will look at this issue of globalization. What do you think is globalization? Do you know any meaning, anything to do with globalization? We talk about globalization. What comes to your head? Interrelationship between countries. All right. In other words, we are looking at globalization as countries worldwide, right? Those interrelationship, or we are looking at countries worldwide. Now, when you look at these countries worldwide, they are connected. They are referring to as sometimes, there are boundaries between countries. You have country A, country B, there are boundaries worldwide, right? But now look at this globalization. So we are looking at this globalization as something to do with the countries worldwide. And again, these countries worldwide, because we are looking at international business, countries worldwide, they are involved in trade, right? And there are trade barriers, because we are looking at this as international business, right? The fact that international business itself implies buying and selling. You know that? You get it? So business implies buying and what? Selling. The fact that we are looking at business as buying and selling, but now where are we looking at this buying and selling? We are looking at this buying and selling globally. In other words, worldwide, right? You see, so we look at international business as we are looking at that there's that act of buying and selling. Again, where there are act of buying and selling, we have got again the issue of markets. Right? Countries cannot buy and cannot sell. Where are they going to buy or sell? There must be what are called markets. Right? Because we are looking at this in terms of markets. And then we look at that these markets are found everywhere. Right? And the fact that we are looking at the issue of markets, right? We have this issue of import and what? Export. Import and export? What's the difference between import and export? So import. When you are importing, you are taking things. You are buying things out there. You are importing, right? But when you are exporting, you are sending goods outside there, right? Especially Malawi, it's main export we export tea, right? But we import a lot of things. Fertilizer we do import. We don't manufacture fertilizer ourselves, right? Yeah. So those are some of the issues that you have. So therefore, the issue of international business has to do with markets that are found globally, and within these markets there is an element of import and what? Export. Because there are other times some other commodities that are manufactured in India, right? In India. Here in Malawi, we don't have that. So we need to, at least they need to market us. We need to exchange. We need to buy those items. Because not all materials that are found in Malawi, they are found in another country. So sometimes there is this scarcity. There is the scarcity of commodities. Again, where there is scarcity of commodities, is where now we will look at this element of globalization, because element of globalization is coming in because of other materials that are not manufactured in a country. Hello? Yes, right. Now, when you look at international business, if we have to define what is an international business, it's a definition, right? Of course, I'll give you. You can photocopy the area that I want to do it, or you will take a snap out of that one. When you look at international business, we're looking at that. This is any commercial transaction that crosses the borders of two or more nations. We're looking at this as commercial transactions. So, with the issue of international business, it is the issue of commercial transactions or transaction that crosses the borders. That crosses the borders of two or more nations. That crosses the borders of two or more nations. That's why when we look at whatever you live, wherever you live, there must be this element of import and what? And export. So you look at you import goods or services purchased abroad and brought them into the country, and again the opposite is now exports exports of goods and services that are sold abroad. So we are looking at this issue of import and export. Whereas now, most of countries, for them to be very rich, they depend on export. You need to export, right? Because when you export more, your country is better, because you have got more money that you have accumulated, more wealthy. But when you import more, you are on risk, because you have taken your money out there. So this issue of import and export serves the major purpose on international business. Now, we are looking at this globalization. We are looking at this as worldwide. No, things are changing. Things are dynamic. You know that? Things are changing. The way we used to buy items when out there, and the way we buy items now is quite different. Long time, we used to buy items just manually. We would have just buy things manually, even using post office or manually. But now, by that time, the issue of buying things manually had disadvantages, because the time again was affected, right? And the quality again wasn't fine. And again, other inconveniences. As you purchase something from South Africa and it comes by rail or whatsoever, you find at least one part of the item is being destroyed. It's not working well. So we are looking at this issue of quality now, not well managed. Then, due to other changes, as we are saying it now, because right now there are these changes of the globalization itself, there is this issue of what is called technology. Technology has changed everything. We are living in times where we have got what are called advanced technology. And this advanced technology has made it easier for commodities to be sold. Do you think advancement of technology has an impact on commodities good under globalization? How do you think? You can what? You can? Low quality through globalization. In other words, through technology. So you are looking at it as a disadvantage, right? But now, what is the advantage? It's very fast. In other words, you can order something very fast. Very fast and reliable. That is very reliable, very fast. Although the other side, you have talked about quality, that sometimes you buy something of which it is low quality. But the issue of fastness, I think it serves very, very well. And therefore, globalization is playing a very important role, especially in form of technology. You can buy something through your phone. You can buy something through your smartphones. It's very possible. You can order something. You can buy a car from Japan through computers. That is very, very possible nowadays, right? And that is what is happening, right? You think is that happening now? You can buy something on phone. Yes. So the fact that we are looking at that, those are some of the impacts of globalization. So international business and globalization, they work hand in hand, because we are looking at it in the side of technology. That technology is perhaps the most remarkable facilities that has at least the boosted social and economical changes today. So you see, these social and commercial changes, social and other commercial changes, they have been affected nowadays just because of what are called, because of technology. Therefore, technology seems to be the most important. Nowadays, technology is not only computers, but even phones and other gadgets. You can have tablets, you can have computers, you can have smartphone, provided you are able to link. Because the most important thing is the way you link with the outsiders. So the moment you link with the outsiders, it serves a very good purpose. Now, let's look at another issue, and this issue is about the very same technology as that it is making possible with this issue of business, international business. Now, if you look at technology and international business, nowadays we have what is called e-commerce, e-business. What is e-business? Yeah, electronic business, where you are looking at electronic business. So the issue of electronic business, or which is called e-commerce, we are looking at now. There must be computer networks all over, that you can communicate with someone from US, you can communicate with someone in Japan, worldwide. You are using set of computers. So things have made it easier. You are not expected to travel nowadays. You can sit home, you can buy a car. Possible? Is it possible? How can you? Why do you think that is possible? Have you ever done that in your life? Buying something on phone? Yes. What did you buy? All right. So we are looking at that electronic commerce as interconnection of network of computers, right? So you can communicate even with someone in Japan. You can communicate with someone in the United States, and you can send something right away, right? And it doesn't take time. It's very fast, very convenient, very fast. You can talk to that person now, and then it's going to be very, very, very fast. So we have seen that nowadays there is this issue, electronic business, where in electronic business we said you are using network of computers in order to purchase, to sell, or to exchange products, services, or service customers, and other issues. So I think that is about globalization and the technology, under technology. Globalization and technology. Right, now let's look at another aspect. Is globalization nowadays makes everything happening? Do you look at any global talents makes things happening now? Global talent. You know what a talent is? What is a talent? Do you see any global talent making things happening nowadays? You are talented in computers. You are talented in do you see these global talents makes it possible nowadays? Do you see that they are doing fine nowadays? What's your opinion? People, they are busy on internet nowadays, right? So in other words, there is that global talent. People they are talented, right? In sending messages on WhatsApp, which means it is happening nowadays. Then that's very true that we are looking at issues nowadays, that there are these media companies today that are commonly engaged in practicing the best described as global relay race. For example, a very good example about this, we have got my TVs online. We have got my TVs. Those TVs, they are helping us to have global talents, making it happening nowadays. TVs, you watch football, you watch sports on TV. In other words, you have boosted the global talents as it is happening nowadays, right? Chinese football, the moment you just go on where you have got TVs and then you switch on to Chinese football whatsoever, or Chinese the acrobatic shows whatsoever, so you find them, you can see them. So this globalization nowadays is happening. In other words, globalization is not just an ordinary thing, but globalization makes things happen. Things are happening nowadays because of globalization. Before we go to another area